Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Welcome, overcomers. Hello, I see some people just joining in now. Welcome in, overcomers. Hello, how are you? Um, I um, I'm so happy to see you guys coming into the live. Thank you for joining. I'm hoping that you all are having a somewhat decent week. Hello, everybody. I'm just checking the comments. Welcome in. Welcome to Resilience Talks, a live series featuring you. And what does that mean? It means that we are here having this conversation because we're all a community. And so this is supposed to be a very interactive conversation. I don't want to just talk to myself, y'all. I don't want to talk to myself because I can do that all by myself in my little room. But I'm here because I want to talk to each and every one of you. Let's talk about things that's going on in your life. Let's talk about resilience. And what does that mean, right? Resilience is bouncing back from life's trials, from things that are coming at you. So I want you guys to come on in, say hi to the people that's in the chat. Talk to the people that's in the chat. I have you guys on both Facebook and Instagram Live, so you'll see me looking back and forth between screens. But please say hello to your neighbor, say hello to your new family member. We never know what someone's going through, and what your smile or your hello or your reply to a comment, you never know what that could mean. And not only that, but you just never know what kind of community you can create outside of this live. So super happy to have you. Hey guys, hey Sherry, hey boo. Hello, my girl. Is that Meek? Hey, girl. I see Desmond. I see Osuma. I saw a couple of other people. Wedge Woe. I saw Tyra. So a couple of you guys are in here. Thank you guys for joining. I see Tay. Thank you all for joining the live. I really do appreciate it. Again, we are here to have real life conversations, right? We ain't got time to be wasting our time. Let's talk about it. We don't have time to be wasting nobody's time because time is precious. And so if we are here on this earth, I definitely want to make the most of my timing. And I do that by building this community, right? So anyways, thank you guys for joining in. Hello, everybody. My TikTok fam is on here. So I'm really excited because this is my first time interacting with them outside of TikTok. So hey, y'all. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, everybody who's here. So let's get started. Before we do all of that, I just wanted to put a couple of disclaimers out there, right? One, I want you guys to know I am not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, and I'm not trying to be, right? I don't want to be any of that. If anything, I want to bring us together and have real life conversation because I know in my life, sometimes I just be needing to hear somebody say, well, baby girl, you know, this or this. Sometimes I just need to have those kinds of conversations. I'm not perfect, y'all. I do the same thing that y'all be tripping up on, okay? Listen, I was telling my business at the other live series because, you know, I'm vulnerable and I'm open and I'm doing that in hopes that it'll help somebody else, in hopes that it'll help each and every one of us, right? So anyways, welcome in. I just wanted to do a quick check-in. How are you guys doing? Put it in the chat. I genuinely want to know. Again, this doesn't work if you guys aren't talking, if we aren't interacting. So let me know real quick, temperature check. How is everybody doing? I mean, me personally, it's been a lot. And the devil has been riding my back heavy. But super grateful to still be here and to even be able to experience these emotions. Hi, Jazz. Hi, Gabe. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hey, Steph. I see you on here. Hey, Jazz. I see y'all on here. Thank you so much for joining. But in the chat, y'all, how y'all feeling? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Cyrus said, I'm alive. Praise God. Praise God, girl. Praise God. Because, woo! I'm telling you, the devil has been riding my back. So listen, I understand alive. Hey, Auntie Sandy, hello. Welcome in, guys. I'm just doing a quick temperature check just to see how all my overcomers are doing right now. We are in the fourth month now of the year, first day. And I don't know about you guys, but it feels like, I'm like, oh God, I had all these plans. I had all these things lined up for, you know, trying to, I had all these plans lined up, and it seems like none of them are actually like taking off, or I'm not really doing it right now. But you know what? I'm grateful that I still have an opportunity, right? We get another day. And I think that I believe in divine timing, and I feel like the things that are supposed to happen will happen. So, Sherry said, I'm tired, sleepy, but good. I feel that, girl. I feel that. Wedgewell said, Devil tried to get me to self-delete yesterday. It was a really dark day. Hey, Wedgewell, thank you for joining. We are here for you. We love you, and we're here to support you, and I'm so grateful that you did it, right? I'm so grateful that you stuck it out and you're here. And if you need help, if you need support, please understand we are here for you, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Guys, if y'all on Instagram, please send Wedgewell some love, because you know what? Life really is hard, and I mean that in the most serious way. We talk about it and we say life is hard and we joke around about it, but really and truly, people are struggling with suicidal thoughts. People are struggling with suicidal ideations. People are struggling with depression, bipolar disorder, so many different things, and you may not necessarily see it. You may not necessarily, you may not be able to tell that someone is going through it. So please send Wedgewell some love, and thank you so much. I want to do something a little bit different this series, or this time around. Last time I had like notes, and I had all this stuff, planned out what I wanted to say. And it was a great live, it was a great chat, but I feel like God is kind of leading me to do something a little bit different this time around for the series. More so a check-in versus a guided conversation. And I know when I say check-in, and even sometimes when I hear the word check-in, I'm like, ugh, like I'm not gonna tell these people my business. I'm not gonna do that. I don't want nobody checking in on me because I'm so private. But I think that there's strength in, doing it corporately. I think that there's strength in that, and even right now, there's evidence of that now where, on Instagram, I know Facebook, y'all can't see it, but on Instagram, people are sending love to Wedgewell, and I encourage you guys, even on Facebook, to, shout him out or her out and send some love, because, you know what, it's rough out here, right? It's rough out here. Hey, Sister Winnie, hello. Hi, Allie. Hi, my beautiful girl. Hey, everybody. So, anyway, what I'm talking about right now, everyone, is we're just doing a check-in. I'm just letting you guys know that we're doing something a little bit different this time around. We're just going to have candid conversation. So, yes, I have notes. I do. I wrote something. However, I think that I just want to have a genuine conversation. And it doesn't even have to be long, but just genuine conversation. And so, again, I started this series on live because, and a lot of people ask me, like, why did you do it live? Because, like, who wants to do it? Like, why not just do a private group? But I wanted this to be very much up close and personal. And a lot of times, especially when we're struggling with things, we tend to do it alone, and we're less likely to join a private group. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're much less likely to join a private group versus, oh, I see this person on live, let me just join it. I want this to be up close. I want it to be personal. I want it to be something that you guys feel like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get on live so we could all chat and talk about this, and this, right? That's my hope for this live. All right, so last week we talked about unpacking our trauma, and I was giving you guys the analogy of how I moved from New York to Atlanta, and I've been there for a year, and I still have boxes and bags of stuff that I just refuse to go through. And I say refuse because I actively said absolutely not. I actively said no to unpacking this stuff. And a lot of it is I wasn't ready. I'm just not ready to unpack. And a lot of it is fear. A lot of it is I just really don't want to do it. Laziness, And so I gave that analogy. And so at the end of the session, oh hey, Sherry from New York too. Hey, yes, New York in a building. And so I gave that analogy. And so I gave you guys a challenge last week to begin to start thinking about the things that you need to unpack, whether that trauma is mental, whether it's emotional, whether it's financial, it could even be spiritual, right? whatever it is that you're going through, whatever trauma it is. And a lot of times we know what the trauma is and we know what we need to unpack. I think it's just that we get so nervous and we get so scared sometimes to unpack it, because then if we unpack everything, what are we going to be left with? A lot of us have been carrying trauma for years and years and years, right? And we haven't let it go. And a lot of times, because we've been carrying it for so long, it's become a part of us, right? It's almost like, oh, it don't even feel heavy anymore because you're so numb to it because you've been carrying it for so long. Absolutely. Sherry said it becomes too real. It does. It does. When you a lot of times we know what the trauma is, right? A lot of times we know. We just are like, I don't know about that one. I know personally, there's some things right now that I'm struggling with where I'm just like, God gonna have to handle that, because God gonna have to get me ready for that, because baby, I don't know if I'm ready to unpack that. But here's the thing, right? If we refuse to unpack those things, if we refuse to unpack that trauma, then we won't ever be able to create space for the things that are actually going to push us forward and not hold us back. And that's what this trauma is. We walk around carrying these rocks and these loads of hardships and things that we haven't healed from. And it becomes ingrained in us. It almost becomes a part of our personality because we've been holding on to it for so long, right? And so it begins to hold us back from who we are actually called to be. And so that's why we have to do the hard work, right? That's why we have to do the work of unpacking that, right? And last week, or 2 weeks ago when we had it, we talked about how the first step is getting to the root of that trauma, right? A lot of people talked about boundaries and lacking boundaries, right? Allowing people to just kind of treat them any kind of way, or over giving, being overly giving to people, especially those who wouldn't give things back to us, right? So we talked about that last week. And the first step that we said was, well, we got to get to the root cause of it, right? Like, why is it that we're still struggling with this, right? And again, a lot of us have been struggling with the same thing for years and years and years. Some of y'all, it's been like 30, 40 years. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm not in your business. I promise I'm not in your business. But some of us have been struggling for a long time. And sometimes we think, oh, well, I'm healed from that, until that thing come back up again, until you got to face it again. And it's like, yeah. Did you really heal from that? Right? Did you really do that? So getting to the root cause of what it is that you are struggling with. I see y'all in the comments, y'all. It will keep you in a vicious cycle. It absolutely will, Sherry. Someone told her I'm not one of his strongest soldiers. Listen, I hear you, because I'm tired of being on the strongest soldiers list. You could, God, you could X me out of that list. Put me on a blessed and highly favored list, okay? Because I'm tired. I'm tired fighting. All my life I had to fight. Gay said, "Man, your preacher say, ooh, period. Thank you." Sherry says, "Say that. Good job." All right, thank you, y'all. But yeah, so let's get to the root cause of what it is that's holding us back. And I know a lot of times fear is one of those things that stop us, because it's like, well, one, I have to unpack all this stuff, but what's going to come up, right? Because chaos, I tell you, when you start unpacking the bag, y'all ever unpacked before? I know y'all have, right? And it's neatly packed in your bag, and it's like, well, it all got to come out. But then you start taking it out, and you realize how much stuff is actually in that bag, and then how much you're taking out, and then it's like, oh, well, where do I need to put all this stuff? Where am I going to put all this stuff? And it becomes this chaos, right? It's the same thing when we're unpacking mental, emotional, physical, spiritual trauma, right? It's the same thing. It's like, what am I going to find in this bag of stuff? What am I going to find in this bag of trauma? What are the feelings? What are the emotions? And a lot of us are not necessarily mentally or emotionally or even spiritually ready for that. But also a lot of us are scared that if I take away all this trauma, if I deal with all this trauma, who will I be? Because as I said earlier, a lot of us have been carrying things for so long that it's become a part of our characteristic. It's become a part of who we are, right? And unfortunately, that holds us back from who we're actually called to be. So today in this live, right, I really just want to I have two questions for y'all, right? The first question is, and this is something that, again, I asked y'all to think about last time. And for those who are new in the chat, y'all welcome to join in. Let's chat, let's talk, right? Because this is what we're here for. We're here to have real conversation. Because like I said, I'll be needing it. Like, I needed a check-in today. Because when I say it's been hell, like, it's been hell. So I want y'all to come on, let's talk to each other, but also let's have this conversation. The first question is, what is it that you're unpacking? Since the last time, if you were here last time, what is it that you've unpacked or started to unpack? Or if you weren't here, what is it that you need to unpack? Like, what is it? And I'm looking in the live. Gabe said, it's wild how much hasn't been unpacked that I wasn't aware of. These combos trigger and reveal. Oh, period. I'm telling you, they'll reveal. I'm telling you, these conversations will start revealing some stuff like, ooh, I didn't even know I felt the way about that, or I didn't even know that this was bothering me, and I think that's what people do in therapy. That's what people do with their friends. You know how you go with your homegirls, or I don't know what guys do for real. I can't speak on the guys, but you know, you with your homegirls, you talking, you might have some wine or whatever, but you telling them how you feel, and you know, you as a group kind of come together, support each other, love on each other. That's what we're doing here tonight. So again, put in the comments, y'all. I'm looking, I'm watching. I see y'all commenting. Hi, Miss Laveda. Hi, Destiny. Hey, sis. Hey, sis Jazzy. Hey, Shanette. I see y'all. Hey, y'all. Welcome in. For those of you who are coming in, I asked the question, what is it that you guys are unpacking? What do you need to unpack? What have you started unpacking? And I'm just reading that in the chat. Meek said, I am unpacking medical trauma. Being gaslit by medical professionals is a crazy roller coaster. Woo! Woo, girl. We should talk about that medical trauma, specifically being gaslit. I have my own crazy history with medical stuff. So we should talk more. What exactly are you unpacking from that trauma? Like, is it that the doctors weren't listening to you? Like, what was it? Sherry said, unhealthy traits I've picked up from toxic family members. That's the one. That's the one. Because a lot of times, right, especially when you're around your family so much, you start picking up on their stuff. Right? Because the company you keep, what's around you becomes in you, right? What's around you will eventually find its way in you. So if you're around people who are doing things that's opposite to what you want to do, eventually you'll start to have that desire again, right? It's like if I'm an alcoholic and I go hang around with other alcoholics, eventually I'm gonna want to drink. Or even if I'm not an alcoholic, if I'm around other people who drink, at some point in time I'm gonna want to. So that stuff catches on, it latches on, and it's important to be aware, number one, that this is something that is unhealthy and something that you now see is in you and on you, and then two, that you're actively taking steps to heal from that. Absolutely. We should, and yes ma'am, 16 years of being told what I was experiencing was all in my head. I see so many stories, about, you know, pain and not being able to see physical pain, or not being able to diagnose the pain that you feel. And sometimes these professionals, because they can't see it, they can't touch it, they can't diagnose it, they think that, oh, you're actually just going crazy. Like, let me send a psych consult to you, you know, which is kind of crazy. But let's talk more about that. Sherry says, all I knew growing up, and realized that the way I handle things aren't the best ways. Absolutely. I think I'm also in a space where I'm realizing that I am more like my mom than I thought I was. I am more like my mom than I thought I was. And if y'all know, if some of y'all know my mama, and y'all know my mom, she was a firecracker. Like, she was a firecracker. And I realized that when I get upset sometimes, I start going crazy. Like, there's no off button until I'm ready to turn off, right? So definitely dealing with unhealthy, toxic traits. And just so that I'm sharing, right? Sherry said, more than I want to admit, girl. Me too. Me too. It's something that we definitely have to be aware of. It's definitely something that, look, if you want to be better and you want to grow in life, then yeah, you got to admit that it's one, unhealthy, and two, you need to do something about it. Absolutely. I think one of the things that I've been unpacking, and I think this is such a bigger conversation, one of the things that I've been unpacking is, when did I forget who I was? When did I forget who Octavia was? And I say that because I feel like in the shuffle of life, I've internalized things that people have said about me. I took it to heart. I internalized it, and I think that when I did that, it kind of made me see myself differently, and I forgot who I was, right? I started to think that I wasn't worthy of not just love, but I wasn't worthy of anything, that what I was offering, what I was doing, just wasn't enough in any space. And I mean that from work to, writing a book to being like in a relationship. I thought, I was like, dang, like I'm not worth nothing because of things that people have said, right? And I forgot who the heck I was. And I'm still on this journey of figuring out, okay, yeah, you Octavia the overcomer, right? You call yourself overcomer for a reason, right? It's not just and I call y'all overcomers for a reason. It's not just because it's cute, right? It's not because it's cute. It's because there's a lot that I have overcome. There's a lot that you have overcome. And if we be honest, you all have survived 100% of your issues, 100% of your problems. Have they gone away? Maybe not all of them, but you're still here to tell the story. And I think there's the power in that, right? So I asked myself, well, what made me, right? What's the root cause of me feeling this unworthy or feeling like I'm not good at anything? I'm not capable. I'm not able to do anything right. Like, what is that? And I realized that there were people that were closest to me, the closest people to me have said these things. And so if they said it, then it must be true. That's what I thought. That if they said it, then it must be true that, I'm stupid or I'm dumb or I'm this or I'm that, right? It had to be true. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm not. These were people that I loved and people who have been with me for years and years, and they're the ones saying stuff like this to me. So in my mind, it's like, okay, well, if they said it, then it must be true. And I think that on the inside, there was something in me, some broken part of me was willing to accept it, right? Some broken part of me was willing to accept it. And then I have to figure out why, like what part of me, why did I feel like I needed to accept the fact that I wasn't worthy or I was not enough? What part of me? And so that's what I am unpacking. I just need to share that with y'all. And I'm on this journey right along with y'all because it brings up a lot of things. It brings up some abandonment issues from my past, right? Some abandonment issues. It brings up some places where I haven't forgiven. It brings up so many other things. And it can be overwhelming when you start unpacking stuff. But at the same time, if you never unpack, then you never move forward, right? I'm looking at the comments, y'all. Gabe said, trying to grasp some type of stability when everything around me is being shaken. Listen, when I say shaken, I mean earthquake, everything going down, right? Everything going down, and it's hard to be stable. It's hard to feel like you're gonna be okay in the midst of all of that. When you see all of this stuff crumbling around you, sometimes it's hard to like get your mind to be like, nah, you're gonna be okay even though all this is happening. A lot of times we tend to succumb to that, right? We tend to succumb to the hardships that's going on in life, and and then we're like, well, I'm ready to give up. And that's valid, right? Because we all get to that point one way or another. We all get to that point. But what I am saying is that your resilience is the thing that pushes us forward. And each of us, you are the evidence that you have resilience. You are the evidence. So I'm grateful, Gabe, that you're here. And I know that you're going to find that stability. And obviously, keep talking. Keep trying to find some peace of mind, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what's most important, even when things are crumbling. I feel like right now I'm in a space where I feel like my life is in chaos right now and I'm having all these big emotions. But the one thing that helps me is being able to cry, being able to lean on people who I can trust, and being able to lean on people who I know are going to help me through it and be there for me. And so, Gabe, I say the same thing to you. We are all here for you, and we are all, on this journey of trying to get it right, trying to live this life that we've been given. Sherry said, yes, definitely been there, had some insecurities I didn't realize I had. Jazzy said, yes, I'm still learning to speak on what's bothering me instead of holding on to it. That's a good one. I feel like a lot of us hold on to things. And we talked about this last time about sometimes we suffer in silence and we don't ever say anything. A lot of us do not advocate for ourselves. A lot of us. And I can say I am also guilty of that. Not advocating for ourselves, not using our voice to say what we need to say because maybe we don't want to be confrontational, or maybe we don't want to ruin a relationship with somebody, or maybe we don't want to destroy whatever it is that we have, and so we hold on to things because we don't want to be the troublemaker, we don't want to be the problematic one, right? So many of us do that. We hold on, we never say anything. But Jazzy, I want to tell you that you do have to find your voice, because what will happen is people will begin to try to walk all over you. Not that they are, but they'll try to walk all over you, and they'll try to get away with things that are way beyond your boundaries because you don't say anything, you don't advocate. And again, that's for a lot of us. Advocating for yourself is one of the biggest things that we do not do in this lifetime. And some of us are big advocates, and some of us are not. But Jazzy, I encourage you, girl, to use your voice. When things are bothering you, maybe you don't necessarily want to say it out loud right away, right? Write it down. Find some way to get it out. Find some way to express yourself, because if you don't, you'll internalize all that anger and you'll be walking around angry and you don't even know why you for real angry, but it's because of all this past anger that you didn't deal with, right? All this past resentment, all this stuff that you've been holding on to. I learned to let go what's no longer serving a positive purpose for my life. Yes. When we realize what's not for us, it welcomes the things that are for us and what God wants for us. Yes. Absolutely. Hey, everybody who's coming in. Hey, cousin, I see you. We are just talking about the things that we are unpacking, the traumas that we need to unpack and start unpacking, right? And the reason that we're doing this is because nobody wants to stay the same forever. Nobody wants to be in the same place 10 years from now, or even a year from now. Nobody wants to be in the same place doing the same things with no upgrade, right? I want to upgrade, okay? I want to get better and better and better, right? I want to get closer and closer to God. I want to get higher and higher and higher, right? I want to live my best life. God said he came that way he might have life and have it more abundantly. So yeah, let's get to the abundance, because I've been through the struggle already, right? I've been through the struggle, and the struggle is me holding on to all this trauma, right? And so these are the things that we have to start dealing with, and also obviously finding the root cause for why it is that you think that you can't speak up, why it is that you feel like you can't do this, why it is that you feel like people take advantage of you. Whatever it is that you are struggling with, figure out why it is that you're doing it. Brenton said, I used to be just like this. Sherry said, yes, absolutely. Oh, I think I'm reconnecting on Instagram. And then my next question is, right, and then once we have this conversation, we can like end the live or whatever the case is. But I do want to know, what lessons are you learning as you're going through life? What is a valuable lesson that you're learning that's going to help you to unpack this trauma, that's going to help you to move forward in life? And y'all, I'm watching the comments. Go ahead, y'all could comment right below. I'm here. But what are some of the lessons, or what is a lesson that you're learning through all of this, right? And I think from what I said, one of the lessons that I'm learning is it's okay to love myself, and it's okay to not like certain parts of myself and work towards fixing it. It's not to say that I don't love myself, but I am learning to give myself permission to love on me. And I'm learning to encourage myself and to speak highly of myself. right? Because a lot of times we do this thing where it's like, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, that was so dumb. Oh, right? We do this thing where we're actively talking about ourselves in a negative way, and maybe it doesn't seem serious at the moment that you're saying it, but just know that all these words are in your mind. They're circulating in your mind, and subconsciously, when you say these things, your subconscious is picking it up, and then you've already just dropped the seed of negativity into your life, right? Because you said something. And I know it's a lot of us. It's natural for us to just be like, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so dumb. It's natural for us to say that, like we use it in regular conversation. But when you start talking these negative things over your life, it becomes a seed. And so I'm learning to love on myself in all ways. There may be some parts that I'm still working on that I may not necessarily like about myself. Well, but that's why I'm working on it, right? That's why I'm trying to get better. Like there are some things that I'm just like, all right, girl, now come on. Like, come on, girl. Like one of them, like I said, there are a lot of times where I'm like so upset. Like sometimes like I try not to get upset. And when I do get upset, it's like now I'm on 1,000, right? And I don't necessarily always have to react that way or be that way, right? It's like, okay, so what is it that's causing you to be this way? So again, there's a lot of things that I'm still learning, but the biggest one is I'm learning to love myself with all my imperfections, with all my mistakes and all my fears, all of that. I'm still learning to love myself. And I don't just mean that in a love yourself kind of way, because we always say love yourself, right? But at the end of the day, when you mean love yourself, that even comes down to the things that you say to yourself, even the thoughts that you're thinking about yourself. And it's not to say that you won't have those thoughts, but what it is to say when you have those thoughts, you correct yourself, right? Because we don't want no more negativity being sown into our lives, okay? I'm looking at the comments. Suma say you have to keep an open mind with people because I was wrong about what someone thought about me because I based on past experiences. Absolutely. Absolutely. Destiny said I'm learning to give myself and others grace during my healing journey. My therapist consistently reminds me that healing is a journey, not an event. Absolutely. That's real good, Destiny. That's a word. Healing, she said healing is a journey, not an event. Healing is a journey, right? It's not the destination. It's not some miraculous event that's like, boom, now you're healed. You've reached this space. You're healed now. It doesn't work that way. And so definitely giving yourself grace, but also that giving other people grace while you healing and you trying to get better and you want to revert back to some of your old ways because they done pushed every button they could. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Yes, healing is a journey. I'm looking at Instagram. I think God wants me to fully lean on him and not my own strength. It's hard because I'm so used to being strong. Oof. Wow. Gabe, I fully understand that. She said she's learning to lean on God and not her own strength. And it's hard because she's so used to being strong. And that's why I say, like so many of us, I'm talking about myself because I don't want to talk about nobody else. I don't want to get beat up on this lie. But a lot of us are the strong friend. A lot of us try to handle things with our own knowledge and our own power. Control freak here. I want to solve my problems immediately, right away. I don't want to, because I start getting anxious. Then I'm like, it starts to ruminate in my mind. Then I'm like thinking about it 24/7. It's like, oh my gosh, it's on a constant loop because I done got anxious and because I'm trying to hold on to it, right? I'm trying to solve it on my own. But Gabe, absolutely leaning on God, talking to God about it, right? And just trusting in his timing, trusting that he's going to take care of you. He's going to make sure that you're all right. And believing in his word, right? Believing that he has plans for your life, and it's not to harm you. It's not to cause you. It's not to cause you any harm. But it's so that you can see, so that you can grow, so that you can evolve, right? So that you can build up those resilient muscles that you have, right? Absolutely. And it is hard giving up control. I say, listen, nobody really wants to give up control because, who likes to be out of control of their lives? But when you hand it to a higher power, when you hand it to God, when you hand it over to God, it's like, ain't no need to worry. It says, don't be anxious for anything. Don't worry about anything. If you trust God, then there's nothing you need to worry about. But I get it. We all human, so trust. I understand. I'm learning to say no and not feeling guilty about it. The boundaries I'm setting now is actually feeling amazing, and I can't see myself turning back. Period. Period. No is a complete sentence. And for all my big-hearted people, I know there's so many big hearts here. For all my big-hearted people, no is a complete sentence. Okay? You can say no. And yeah, a lot of times people who have big hearts, yeah, they feel guilty about it. I know I do. I try to be there for everybody and anybody I can be. And you know what? They just keep asking, and they just keep coming back and coming back. and then I'm drained, and then I'm exhausted, and I'm overgiving, and I'm doing all of this, and I'm empty now because I didn't, one, stick to my boundaries, right? I didn't stick to my boundaries, but also two, I've allowed someone to do something and to continuously take from me when I didn't have it to give in the first place, right? I see G on the live. Hey family. Hey G. I'm also looking here. Belinda said, that's my problem. I need to start saying no and not feeling guilty. I need to work on not feeling guilty about it because I do feel bad because I do want to help. Absolutely. And I think that's a conversation on boundaries, right? That's a conversation on, okay, well, why do you keep allowing this, right? What's the issue? Why do you keep allowing? Yes, refuse to set myself back to give to others. Listen, it's a hard lesson to learn, but when you're tired of giving and giving, and not to say that you're doing it because you want something in return, but when you keep giving and giving and giving and you're empty, and then you're looking around, you ain't got nobody to turn to, right? Nobody's coming to help you. Yeah, you start to learn that you can't keep giving to people and you're empty, right? You give from, and we talked about this on another live, you give from a place of abundance and not from a place of emptiness, right? You give from a place of abundance. So I can give to you as long as I'm taken care of and I have enough to give to you. But I can't give to you if I don't have it to give, right? Because at that point, now I'm just like doing whatever. Now I'm just doing things and I don't even have it for myself, right? Hey y'all, yes, Belinda said exactly. So many of us are struggling with boundaries. So many of us are struggling with not allowing people to take advantage of us. And then, Joe, going back to what Jazzy said earlier, not using our voices, right? We have voices. Each and every one of us have voices to use. And so I encourage each and every one of us. I know nobody likes to be problematic. Nobody likes to say no. Nobody likes to be that person. But at the same time, if you want to really move forward and, be a better steward of what you already have, yeah, you're going to have to say no. And it's okay, because at first you might feel bad about it. You really might. And it's okay. Keep doing it, though. Keep saying no. Because you know what? As I said before, takers going to take until they can't take anymore, right? They're going to keep taking until they can't take anymore. So that's my advice. G, I know you just came in. We were talking about what are some things that we need to unpack? What are some traumas that we need to unpack? And then 2, we were talking about what are some lessons that we're learning as we're beginning to unpack some of these traumas. So G, if you're in here still, you could put something in the chat. We could talk about it. And for everybody else who's coming in on Facebook, hey y'all, I see y'all. We're just talking about unpacking our traumas and what we need to do. And so while I'm looking at the comments and all of that, I want to challenge each and every one of you, right? I want to challenge each and every one of you to pick one thing, just one, because you can't conquer Rome in one day, right? Pick one thing that you need to really invest your attention in this week, and really unpack that thing. So if it's fear, if it's not having boundaries, if it's feeling bad about saying no, unpack it. Why are you feeling that way? And then what? Oh yeah, y'all get homework in this chat. Yeah. We get homework in this chat. Yeah, because this is the hard work. This is the hard work, right? Because we're not just coming here to have conversation to be cute on live. Because look, baby, I could be doing something else. You could be doing something else. But we're in this chat because we all have this desire to be better. We all have this desire to go higher, right? We all have this desire to grow and evolve. So yeah, this is your homework. Because we're going to talk about it next week. And obviously next week it'll be more structured than it was tonight. But tonight I really just needed it to be a conversation, a mental check-in. Really just talk about what it is that's going on in your lives, because you know what, I'm probably going through the same thing, right? I'm probably going through the same thing, and understand that when you start doing this stuff, it gets real. And I gotta let y'all know, it get real. So it might be cute to say, oh yeah, I'm unpacking my drama. You know, it's cute. It's real cute to say it, right? It's real cute to say it like, oh, you sound deep when you say, oh yeah, I'm unpacking my trauma. It sounds deep. But when you really get into it, you realize that, yeah, it's a lot. it's overwhelming at times. And so that's the work, right? That's the work. So we're not here for cutesies. We're not here just because we want to, just be here. We're wasting our time. No, we're here because we're going to actually do the work to become better, to be better than what we were, right? To grow and progress into who God created us to be. I don't know about you. I'm not trying to leave this earth not having accomplished my purpose on this earth. And I tell you guys this, when you live in your purpose, you start touching. Gee, you want me to lock the doors? I don't lock no doors now. Hold on. But when you start living in your purpose, you don't know who you're going to touch just by living in your purpose. You don't know how many people you're going to help. And not that it's for the people, but it is for the people, right? When you live in your purpose, right? When you live in your purpose, you touch other people, right? Because other people are going to see this purpose. They're going to see it all on you, right? Yeah, JC not here, right? Don't lock no church doors in here. I'm not trying to get sued. Okay, I want to go to jail. But yes, so I definitely say this is the work that has to be done. So I challenge each and every one of you. Choose one thing. Just one. Because don't go choosing 7 or 8 things and then you have a mental breakdown and you in the hospital because you don't have a mental breakdown. One thing. One thing. Choose one thing that you feel like you need to unpack. And I want you to start thinking about, 1, what's the root cause of this? And then 2, how do I move forward from this? How can I move forward from this? What are some of the steps that I need to take so that I can heal from this, so that I can become better? And we'll talk about that next week. Next week will be more structured. I have some stuff that I do want to talk about specifically. But today I really, really just wanted to do a mental check-in because, like I said, I'm going through it, y'all. Like, I'm going through it, and just being able to be here and talk to you guys. Last week I couldn't do it. Last week I couldn't be here and talk to you guys because I was out of it. I was out. But I'm happy that this week I was like, okay, no matter what, we're going to have this conversation because I know that if I'm going through it, I know y'all are going through some stuff too. And being able to be here with you guys, just talking, just having regular conversation, nothing even like super, super deep. I mean, it does get deep, but just having conversation, right? It's helpful. It's like, oh, okay, well, she did this. This is how she learned how to get through this part. Or this is how he learned how to do this. And this is how he grew, right? And so this is meant for us to all help each other, right? It's called Resilience Talks. And the reason why we talk about resilience, the reason why I talk about resilience is because constantly, over and over through life, I have to bounce back, right? We do that. We bounce it back. We bounce it back. Right? That's what we do. We bounce back from our trauma. We bounce back from our hardships. We bounce back from our difficulties, right? It's about being flexible and being able to adapt, right? That's what resilient is. And so resilience is a practice, right? It's, hey, first, I see you, girl. Resilience is a practice. And we're talking about resilience talks because we want that practice. What is that practice? Let's talk about that practice. What are those actionable steps that's going to get me from point A to point Z, right? Because we don't want to stay stuck in who we are right now. The goal is to always progress and get better. So that's why we're here. So next week, we're definitely going to talk more about it. I see y'all. I'm just looking at the comments. We're here with your family. Oh, yes. We're here for you, Tay. Hearts. Yes, fellowship. Yes. I'm learning that love is a choice that shouldn't be predicated on how the person makes us feel. Ooh, this is a long one. But I'm trying to say it like in a way of turning the cheek if someone doesn't love you the way you love them back. And I feel like this is circumstantial, but I'm trying to say on the most basic level, that a person who even lets the little things get to me. Okay. Okay, this is a long message, but I see you. Who is this? Osuma, I see you. I think what the overall message is that love isn't predicated on how someone else feels about you. It's predicated on how you feel about that person. I think that's what you're trying to say. Hello everybody. Thank you guys for coming in, joining the chat, joining live. I was just talking and letting everyone know, we were talking earlier about, trauma and unpacking, and I mentioned that I had moved from New York last year, and now I live in Atlanta, and I still have all these bags that I have to unpack, and that's just like us. We have all this stuff, all this trauma, all these difficulties, all this unforgiveness, all this stuff that we have not unpacked. And so I'm challenging each and every one of us to do that. Like, let's unbox this stuff. Let's take it out. It's time to stop being cute. Because when you put it in a box, you could just put it in a corner somewhere. You could stack it up. It looks neat. It's cute. But yeah, it's time out for that, because it's taking up space, right? It's taking up valuable space. There's a lot of things that's meant to be in our lives that's not there because something else is occupying the space. And that's a word all in its own, right? Letting some stuff go. That's a part of unpacking. Letting some stuff go. But we will go deeper into that next week. I am so grateful that you guys got on here. My hope is that you guys had a good time talking, had a great time just having conversation, just candid conversations, right? And again, I challenge each and every one of you guys, choose one thing. We're going to talk about that one thing too. I'm so serious about it. Choose that one thing that you've been struggling with. That one thing, when I started talking about unpacking trauma, the thing that you immediately thought about, that's what I'm talking about. Because you know what, like I said, a lot of us know what our trauma is. A lot of us know what we need to heal from. We just refuse to do it, right? So what is that thing? Choose one. Choose one thing. And I want you to think about, what's the root cause? Why is it that it's still triggering you? And what are some steps that you could possibly take? And we're talking about this next week when I do my check-in at the beginning. We're talking about what it is that you decided to unpack, what it is that you decided to focus on, what it is that you decided to think about. And I want to know what revelations came to you, right? So that's your homework. That's homework. For real. Somebody said shadow work. Yeah, shadow work. And if obviously, do it when you're ready, right? Because I don't want to trigger anybody to have no kind of mental breakdown or anything of that sort, right? But I do want you to take this seriously, because at the end of the day, it's about us being able to be better, right? And it's a real thing. Like, we're really living this life. Like, again, I would hate to leave this earth and not live in the purpose that God has called me to live in. Because what a shame it would be to have all these gifts, to have all this stuff, and to never have fully reached the highest potential it could reach, right? And just knowing that you could potentially make the difference in somebody's life, right? Even if one person, you could make the difference in somebody's life. But if you never get to where you need to be, then you can't get all these other people who you're going to affect and impact and influence. They'll never get to where they need to be because they're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to get it together, right? And so that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're having these conversations. Like I said, I'm one of those people. I'm a push. If I know you're interested in something, if I know you want to do something, I'm finna push you. Oh yeah, so what you doing about this? What's the plan? Oh, when's the due date? Oh, like, that's me, right? Because I want all of us to be better. I want all of us to live in the purpose that God gave us. And if you know my story, then time ain't guaranteed to nobody, right? Time isn't guaranteed. I know we think we have a lot of time, and we might say we're young and we got through all look, time is guaranteed to nobody. And so while I'm here, I'm finna do everything I can, because at the end of the day, I want to make it to see Jesus. Okay, that's it. I want to make it to see my Lord and Savior. Okay. Oh gosh. But thank you guys for joining. I appreciate y'all. Come back next week, y'all. Like, please come back next week, because I want to talk to y'all. Like, I want to talk to y'all. I have so much that I have to say. There's so much that I need to give to you guys, just that God has been downloading in me. And, just just in general, stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. Dang, that's deep to think about the people connected to our purpose. Yeah. Yeah. Think about like you responsible, like, you know, like we all have impact. We all have influence, whether it's big, small, medium, no matter what. We all have influence and impact, right? Because we're all actively, you know, seeing people, interacting with people. So yeah, we have that influence, but if we're not being who God called us to be, we could potentially mess somebody else up, or, you know, not get them to where they need to be. Yes, so many people are connected to, I guess. Yes. G said, we got you. We need this. I need y'all, and I need this too. So I will see you guys next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Again, this is Resilience Talks, a live series featuring you. I appreciate you, overcomers. I appreciate y'all so much for being on here. And I will see y'all next week. Hit me up. Let's talk outside of this chat if you need to. I'm here. Sherry said we're overcomers, not the little one, but the big one, period. Not the little one, the big one, big overcomer. So proud of you. Say, oh, thank you. I appreciate you, girl. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, y'all. I'm going to hop off this live, but I wish you guys all the biggest, the best good night. And for my TikTok family, I will see y'all tomorrow. Love y'all. And for everyone else, I'll see y'all back here next Tuesday, 8 p.m. ET. ET for all y'all other time zones. We'll be here at 8 p.m. ET. I love y'all and thank y'all so much for joining. All right, overcomers, y'all have a blessed week. Overcome with purpose.